Hey, this is Christian. So last time you saw me solve some problems that an 8-year-old could solve. And honestly, I think I'm ready. I'm going to step up my game a little bit and I'm going to move on to those problems that only 9-year-olds can solve. You know what? They're a little bit smarter. They've moved past the glue eating phase. And I think that's the level I'm at. In all honesty, the reason I do these easy questions is because I want to build momentum and reference experience. The momentum is if I can continuously solve problems, then I'm going to want to keep going. The reference experience is um, showing myself that I can solve these problems. So later on, when I hit walls, I have these reference experiences to kind of convince myself to keep going. Um, so, like, realistically speaking, I could solve a medium question, but I would struggle a lot more. And since I don't have the reference experiences from solving these easy ones, if I start with the medium ones, like the chances of me quitting are a lot higher. Okay, so after one of the videos, we ended with looking at this problem, and I thought it was a little difficult, but I've had a little bit more practice, so we're gonna just jump right into it. It looks like a two-dimensional array is what we're gonna be using. I mean, that would make sense, or maybe 3 different arrays. Doesn't actually show me. Either way. So they want us to get the sum of the diagonals, the sum of the left, and then the right diagonal. So 159, 359. Well, and their absolute difference. So I believe there's a method in Java to give you the absolute value. Another option would be to find the maximum number, put that one in front, and we'll always get the maximum. The absolute value. Or we can check if it's negative and just multiply it by -1. There's quite a few options. So yeah, it is a two-dimensional array. All right. So we have enough information. Let's get started. Well, all right, this is our method. We do our classic setup. So we want sum of the left diagonal and sum of the right diagonal. We want to iterate through the 2D array. Selecting only the diagonal. Well, not selecting only. Adding diagonal. Okay. And then we're going to be returning the absolute difference. All right. So we'll initialize these variables to 0. Oops. Okay, then we'll get our loop. So with two-dimensional arrays, if I remember correctly, we need to use 2 loops to iterate through them. Because you have 2 different indices to sort through, or to go through. think it's r.length. I know for lists it's actually different. I'll look it up right now. So yeah. Alright, it took me a second to remember how to do that. Since it's a two-dimensional array, you want to get the length of the, when it's like this, it's the outside array, and then this is the inner part of it. So if this is our array, this would be the array dot length is going to be 3. 1, 2, 3. It counts the number of rows, and then when you put the index next to it, it accesses each individual or the two-dimensional array. So it'll do 1, 2, 3 at array at index 0, and then this will be 1, this will be 2. And to access like the inner values, you'll do a double. So it'll look something like this. So at index 0 will be in the first row, and then we'll go to the third value. So that's how you access those individual values. And okay, so I think the best way to do this would be to go for odd values. Yeah, to go for odd values on this. I'm gonna struggle to talk a little bit more because this is a little bit, I mean, it's still an easy question, but I'm struggling a little bit more. So I'm gonna try a few different things, so we'll see what sticks. Okay. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a, I don't think I need to create a count. Yeah, we'll use I. I was gonna create a counter to figure out which values I was wanting to add, but I think this will be good. It's kind of hard. Okay, so we're definitely going to be adding to this. We're going to be adding See, the thing is, I don't think we need to go through the entire method. I think we can, as we're iterating through, we only have to go through half of it. Just the indices we're accessing have to be opposite. Okay, I have an idea. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna think. I think we're gonna do. So if we divide this by 2, yeah, because yeah, I have to do it like this. I don't think we don't even need to iterate through the second loop. Now that I think about it. All right, check it. Yeah, we don't want to iterate through the whole thing since um, we don't want to iterate through the second part of the two-dimensional array too many times. All right, check it. So the sum of the left is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna go the array at I at should be I again. No, yeah, it should be I again. So we'll do I again. You'll see why in a second. This one will also be I, but this second one will be I minus I. So we're going to be going from the opposite side. Actually, minus 1 also. Because there's no index at array, or the length of the array is an index that's outside of the array. Okay. So now, I think if we divide this by 2, it'll stop halfway through. See, if it's of length 5, it'll stop at 2. Okay, if it's at length 3, it'll stop at 1, which is perfect. Okay, so that should work. So we're going to return, I think it's math. Yeah, I think it's like that. Okay. So that was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Most of the time, when you run through 2D arrays, you do want to be accessing each. You do want to be running a nested for loop just so you can go through every single value. But in this situation, there's an algorithm we can use. Instead of going through every single value, we can just go directly to the ones we need since there's a pattern to the indices we're accessing. Cannot find symbol. Oh, dude, we're using the list class. So I actually never used the list class back in the day. You know, they were very adamant about making us learn to do everything on our own. I remember when I took my CS1 class, I had a Mac at home, a Mac desktop, and they wanted us to use Dr. Java, which is it's an IDE, but I mean I never actually was able to download it because they didn't have a Mac version available. So I found a way to use the notepad on there to run my code. I just watched a video and I set it up exactly the way it showed me. And for a while, it wasn't working. It was a lot harder than just running an IDE and running everything from within there. I actually had to go to the command prompt and everything. And all I was trying to do was to print the hello world statement. That's it. Nothing complicated, nothing fancy, just the hello world statement. And I remember sitting there, I was struggling to get it to run. I was thinking to myself, is programming really for me? I can't even get this really simple program to run. And, how am I supposed to do the more complicated stuff? Eventually, I just grinded through it. And because I had already paid for the semester, I grinded through it and I finally figured out how to run Hello World. And it was one of the most satisfying feelings. I always read about people who talk about their Hello World statement, and I always thought it was so corny, but I actually struggled a little bit to get that to run. And after that, everything became a lot easier. Once I was able to compile it, I just was getting practice in, and that's when I started to really, really like programming. Okay, so here's our methods list for the list class. So we need to find a way to get the values from. Actually, it's gonna be a little bit more complicated because this is a nested. This is a two-dimensional list. Is there not a way to get? So we need dot size. Oh, they have an iterator. Oh, next time. Get, okay. So change this to dot size. And then, oh, I think I know how to do this. I think it's a nested get method. So you get I. Yeah. Excuse me. All right. So let me break this down. No. Okay. I think I got it. Okay, array at index, at index I. Dot get I. Yeah, that should be it. Okay. Okay. Doing good. Should be it, right? Okay, theoretically this should work. And it doesn't. Okay, can't find dot size. Let's see. Okay, it is a method. Okay, So we'll test that. It's showing I have this, but I don't see where. Oh, I see. So I do have to put that same .get. So we're gonna access I, and then just .get again. If it, we're gonna try it. I really don't think this is gonna work. I mean, like I said, I don't really have practice using this. So it actually worked. Wow. So this is supposed to be dot size. Okay. Yeah, this should run. Oh no. Oh, that's the same thing. Okay. Okay. Now that should be everything. Got the wrong answer, but it compiled. All right, so the answer we're supposed to get is, so the left diagonal is going to be 4, because 11 minus 12 is -1, plus 5 is 4, and then 19. So 4 minus 19 is 15. And we are not really that close. Let's see. So let's trace through our code. Okay, we start with both at 0. I is equal to 0. We're going to use the example given to us here. So 11, 2, 4, 4, 5, 6, 10, 8, -12. So it's gonna input 3 to let us know it's gonna be a 3 by 3 two-dimensional array. Then divide by 2. So we're gonna divide the size of it by 2. So since it's 3, and there's no float, 3 divided by 2 is 1. So it's gonna go up to 1. Okay. Already see the issue. It's not getting. So when I is at index 1, it won't go into it since 1 is not less than 1. So there's two different things I could do here. I can add 1 to this, or I can set this operand for when I is less than or equal to array dot size divided by 2. So that way we reach index 1. So I believe that should get us to iterate through everything. Let's check it out. Boom. Oh, I submitted. Oops. I meant to run code. We're still getting the wrong answer. So we're getting 7, which I don't know how. Oops. Okay. So it might be with our get methods. So does it do the inner one first or the outer one? Hmm. I mean, it only makes sense that it gets the outer one first. Let me see how it gets 7. That doesn't even honestly make any sense. $16, 4. I can't even find the way that, like, in what situation would it get 7? Yeah, it doesn't. I can't even find the way it gets 7. So I wish I could print test cases for this so I can see what is actually going on. But a very simple solution is, it's not even simple, but it's the only thing I can really see being wrong with it, is that somehow when we're using the list method, it does it reverse. Okay, so it's actually worse than it was before. But we did get a different response. Okay, let's think about this. So at I equals 0, all right, so that way you guys can see what I'm doing. You guys know what the method looks like. All right, there we go. Good. So when at index I equals 0, it will enter. So dot get I should be that first, this first row, and then at index I, so it should be 0, 0. So we should be getting 11. So I'm writing down some left and some right. So some left equals 11 right now. And then some right should be at index 0 also, which is correct. And then we're going to do the array dot size, which is 3 minus 1, which is going to be 2 minus I, which is still going to be 2 since I is 0. So at index 2, so 0, 1, 2. So it should be 4. Right? So it looks good right now. So we're going to go to index 1, which is where I think things go wrong, but we'll see. Oh, yeah, okay. I see what's wrong. We're just not going through. So the reason I divided by 2 is so we wouldn't have to go all the way through this one. But the thing is, we're not even accessing all the arrays. So that's why we're getting the wrong answer. That's embarrassing. Oops. Oh yeah. So we put that. So yeah, we're accessing an array that doesn't exist, which is what I was warning you guys about. I just ended up doing it. Okay. It was brutal. God, I'm so rusty. It's so funny that like such simple problems end up tripping me up. When I look back at it, it's a bunch of like, I don't know. Yeah, when I look back at it, it seems like really dumb mistakes, but this is the type of practice I need. Learning about very small issues that I have so that when I get to the medium, I've already been through the small things that would frustrate me on top of a medium question. So these are easy questions that I know how to solve, that I can easily solve, but I'm just getting through mostly syntax errors. All right, let's look at this next challenge. Just take a look and see if I wanna take a crack at it. Looks like a negative. All right. So that concludes the videos for this week. Through the weekend, I'm going to be stepping up my game a little bit, and I'm going to be studying a little more. This week, I wanted to give you guys kind of a raw reaction to me trying to code algorithms for the first time in a really long time. What was it? Almost 5 years? Almost 5 years. So next week, I'm going to step up a little bit so we can get through a little bit more problems, get a little more practice in. I'm going to be trying to do 3 problems or half an hour, whichever comes first. I'm being a little overly optimistic because in my mind I wanted to do that in the video today, but it took me a while to do that one problem. Okay, so see you guys next week.